All right, everybody, welcome back to the Brothers in Arms Elite YouTube channel. This is your boy, Coach Dub, bringing you some more rec- recruiting tips and stuff. So we went TCU year one, and I didn't break the first video down. It was an hour and a half long. We're going to do that different. We're going to go setting up boards weeks 0 and 1, and then do the next 4 weeks, and then the last 3 weeks. So we'll do it like that to break it down a little bit so that they're more, manageable videos to watch. Um, so right off the bat, this team was an 81 overall last season. They're still a 3.5-star team, but they went from 81 overall to 84 overall. We finished with the 34 ranked class. So we're just going to take a peek at what the schedule looks like before we get started. A lot of home games. Maybe they'll help us out a little bit. We went 4-8 last season. So we're going to start in here, setting up the board. First thing, like I said, we're going to go over here to the prospect list. This gives us an idea. It says we need a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, 8 offensive linemen, 4 defensive linemen, 6 linebackers, and 3 safeties. So it's saying we still need a lot of defensive play. Man. So still need a lot of linebackers. So we're going to go over here, and remember, you can go over here, press down on the right stick, and this will tell us that 2 of our quarterbacks are potential transfers. Come down here to wide receivers. Other than the graduates, we could lose another 2. So these are things we've got to keep in mind. Like when it says we only need 1 quarterback, we could potentially need 3 by the time the recruiting cycle is over. But looking at defense, we're going to go down here to, this is the cornerbacks. Okay, so here's the linebackers right in here. Glass should be here again next year. These 2 guys are graduating. Eck is graduating. So we're only going to have maybe 1 decent returning. Let's go here. And we have a potential transfer. So is it Arkansas or Glass? There's a way to figure that out too. But this tells us that we may need more players than what it actually says. You know what I mean? So we need 4 defensive linemen, but then here it's saying there's another 2, 3, 4 defensive linemen that could transfer, so we could need really a total of 8. These are things to keep in mind if you're like, well, I'm not really sure what to do. So first things first, I'm going to come over here to quarterbacks. Not seeing a whole lot that we like. This guy is an athlete, but he's the 1400, so I don't really know what good that does us. We're actually not going to put any quarterbacks on our list. And in weeks 0 or 1, we're going to look for quarterbacks that do not have scholarships and focus on them so that we're not wasting recruiting hours. So we need a running back. This could be a good possibility, but Alabama, like I said, Texas, Ohio State. These teams are hard to recruit against. You do not want to get into a battle with them. This one's a little bit better because only Texas and Texas A&M are on this list. But you look how far down the list he is. He is also a 3-star. So we're going to put both these guys on our list and take a chance. Just so we have an idea. We're going to come over here. Wide receivers. Lots of wide receivers. Lots of choices. We're mainly looking for our pipeline with not as good teams in it. And all of these up here at the top are going to be, like you could say, Baylor, Oklahoma State, Arizona State. Teams we could, but Texas maybe not so much. So that's all we're doing right now is we're looking for possibles that we could, try to recruit that are going to be in our pipeline. And the problem is when you got Ohio States and Texas and USC's, You're not competing with them guys really. So this guy, I think would be a good one because it's SMU, Stanford, LSU, Colorado. We'll put him on our list for right now, and we are going to put this one on our list right now, and we'll see what pops later. Now here we go to offensive linemen. We were struggling to find offensive linemen last season. And again, it's going to be a struggle as we don't even have any in our pipeline, and the ones that are in our pipeline are facing. So we're not going to find a lot of offensive linemen right now either, it doesn't look like. So you see the problem we're having is the pipelines are there, but the players we would be going against right now are not worth it. These actually probably are. So we will throw them on our list, and that's because they are 3 stars, and Texas is probably not going to go after them right away, giving us a chance to lock them up. Here's another one. Ohio State is on there, LSU. But you look how far down the list he is, and is it worth it? Maybe, maybe not. Here we go again. This one, Ohio State and Texas. But we don't really like raw strength. This is more up our alley. So we're going to kick him. So that's at least 4 of the 8 that we need. That'll get us started. Now we're going to come over here. This guy we're 6th. This guy we're 9th. This guy we're 5th. LSU, Oklahoma State, Texas, Arkansas. So this is an interesting one that we could put on our list to see what it looks like. And there's just not a lot here. And this is the problem we had the last time, is there just wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot to look for. Wasn't a lot to put on the list. Nobody's really interested in our school. And why would they be when we just went 4-8 or 5-8 last season? So this one could be a little bit more doable if they don't go after him. We could put him on our list and see what happens. This is another one that you could say maybe, but then you look to LSU, Texas, Texas A&M, Ohio State, Oklahoma. Same thing here. This one's interesting because LSU and Florida State are the best 2 teams there. But then we're going to come down here. This one looks like it could be okay. This one does too. I mean, we got Texas and Texas A&M on there. But are they going to go this low to start off? We don't know. We're going to find out. So there's 4 of the 6. This would be an interesting one, depending on how it goes. But once again, it's just trying to find somebody that's interested in us. And they're not saying they have interest, but they might by next week. So we've got 6 linebackers. We're going to check in with cornerbacks. Trying to find anything where we're not competing against a bunch of people. This one could be possible, right? This guy, maybe not so much because Texas is on there. This guy definitely. And this guy could be a definite. But we're going to take him off because we don't really need him. And the only reason we're going after them is to supplement free safeties. Here we go, 8, 9. You see what we're talking about? Nothing there, nothing there. This one is a maybe. Maybe something will pop there for us. Let me get down here. This guy is going to be no. Okay, so we've only got 20 people on our list. So what I'm going to suggest we do now is we're going to search 3-star players, top 10 interests in our school, with at least a minimum of a 3 pipeline. This is going to give us a list that, wow. Let's do that search again. We do not want 5 stars. We basically just want the 3 stars is what we're looking at to kind of see what pipelines we got that do have some interest in us already. So here is a wide receiver, Jalen Fabian. Here's another wide receiver. Throw that one on there as well. So, as far as we know, we don't need a tight end. But we do have a potential transfer. So, That's something that it would not hurt to put on our list, right? Because so here we go. Here's a tight end. Texas, you know, throw him on there. There's lots of wide receivers. So right now we're just adding some players that are decent because we need to still fill some stuff out. Who's this athlete? Dual threat quarterback. So we'll put him on our list. We will put a quarterback on there. So we're at 25 now. Okay. So really we should be giving different scholarships to different players, but this guy's not great, but it is what it is, right? Better than nothing at this point. Remember, you need 175 recruiting hours just for scholarships if you do 35 players. Generally, I would do 35 players, but we are not finding the players on this list at all. Wide receivers, the only number I'm really interested in is how fast they are. Because you do not want, like, 86. That guy should be a tight end if he's got size, right? And so here, this guy's 84. He's 5'9", 174. This is not a guy that I would give a scholarship to, no matter what that says. Right? Like this guy, 195, 6'5", he could be a tight end, so we'll give him a scholarship. This guy, Bruner, could not be a tight end, so that's not somebody we want to offer a scholarship to. So right now, normally I wouldn't be giving scholarships, but since I'm going through this players at a time, that's okay, right? Okay, offensive linemen are taking way too much, so we're just going to give them scholarships. The real work we're going to do is the following week anyways. And to be honest with you, I don't even know why I'm bothering putting any 4-star players on this list. And we will come back to this. If we got the stuff to actually fully scout some of these players, we will do that. But I would tell you, man, I have never seen so many slow people in my life. And there we go. This guy is a 4-star, but he's probably going to be good. And remember, you can always come here and check. If LSU wants this guy and Alabama wants this guy, we might as well forget it because our pipeline is lower than theirs and we are not a good team. So these are things you got to keep in mind. That guy would make a decent safety if I needed one. You might make a decent cornerback if I needed to switch him. So we're going to come down here to need scholarship. Nobody needs a scholarship because apparently we already did all that. And we don't want to have unwasted hours, so we're literally going to go through the defensive players. All right. Same thing with defensive linemen. Oh, and you know what I forgot to do that I should have done? Do it now. I can't believe I forgot that. So we've got all these coaching points to spend, and I should have upgraded this stuff before I even started doing any of that. So right now, the main thing is I should have had at least 2 on all these, right? And by the end of the season, we're going to want more than that. And now it's a little bit late for this. But having at least the first 2 on here gives us quicker scout and increased starting interest during the regular season. And then if we go another level here when we get to the end of the season, what we'll be able to do then, we'll want to do it again, right? We'll want to go to the 3rd level when we get to the off season. So I don't know why I keep doing that. We want to get the 3rd one on here as well because transfers are more interested. We're not so much worried about the sway. So we can take a look at some of these other things. Strategists boost the complimentary visits can be big. Visits have a bigger impact. That could be big. The deal breaker threshold is okay. Right, so you can look at some of these, and this is all about what they do on the field. Tactician is about experience and stuff like that. And then motivator. So when your players do something good, the first one, you know, it will help with recruiting. But right now, we're in good shape for what we need, and I should have done that a while ago. But anyways, it would help with our scouting these players. But thankfully for us, we don't have a lot of players to scout because there's just not enough of them. See, so now these take 30 instead of like 50. And the thing is we just don't want to waste these hours, but we want to maximize what we can do with them. Right? And that's probably going to be about it for us right there. Okay. So we got 5 points left over. Not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and advance it and get to the next week and get in our real work. Because week 0 and week 1 we're gonna make our biggest strides as far as our recruiting strategy. So very important. If we're gonna go after 4 stars in recruiting, okay, they have to get. You have to be willing to do 50 recruiting hours to them every week. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here. We're mainly going to, we'll go ahead and do this. Doesn't matter, right? This does not matter at all. What we're looking for is just players who don't have any offers. The pipeline doesn't matter. The pipeline helps. This guy's already 10th on our list, and he's a 4-star. This is a bonus that we are in interest level for him. So definitely want to go after him. This guy's a tight end. I don't need him, but we're going to throw him on the list because of what his rank is in the class. Right? He's highly up there. Contact seeker. Not big on those as running backs. What we're mainly looking for is, here's another one, 10th and 9th. but we don't need a whole bunch of wide receivers. Potentially, let's actually look at that, and then we'll have to do this all over again. But wide receivers, we're losing one, and we're potentially having 2 transfers. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're potentially going to lose 3 and have 7. So 1 is a good number. I'm okay with only having 8 wide receivers, right? So if we get a different one, it's okay. But we're not going to go out of our way and put a whole bunch of wide receivers on this list. So this is something else that you can do here, is I could change it by position, which y'all see me do. But we're not really worried about that right now. There are always usually a lot of wide receivers and generally a decent amount of offensive linemen that have not been given scholarships. Okay, so here's more wide receivers. Running back. More wide receivers. Now you see what I'm talking about. There's so many wide receivers that do not have scholarship offers. It's ridiculous. You can always find you wide receivers if you need wide receivers. And linebackers. There are generally a lot of linebackers. Right now, another wide receiver. It's like all wide receivers. I hope it's not just all wide receivers or we're going to be in trouble. Here's an athlete, contested specialist. That's going to be like a tight end. Here's a quarterback, dual threat. Definitely putting him on our list. We're going after him hard. Here's a north-south receiver. We're okay with that at running back. Another wide receiver. Here's a linebacker. We need linebackers. Remember, these players, the ones we really want, that if they're ones that we want to sign, we are going to have to allocate the hours to them. Here's a halfback, north-south receiver. Here's a halfback, north-south blocker. Here's a wide receiver. Here's a wide receiver. It's just wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver. I've not even seen an offensive lineman yet. More wide receivers. Here's an edge rusher. A linebacker. Continuing to look. More wide receivers. Here's a center. Finally an offensive lineman. It'd be really double awesome if they had they're part of our pipeline, but it usually doesn't work that way. Now we're back into the 3 stars. There's a strong safety, probably better than some of the ones we've got now. This linebacker, probably better than some of the ones we got now. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to come back to this list. Because right now, right, I got players. And I got more than 35. I got 35 players. But this is what we're going to do. So we found some offensive linemen. He's got offers from... We're the only 5 pipelines, so this guy could be a get for us. But this guy, no scholarship. No competition. So do we want to really go after that right tackle? He's 896. Okay, we come over here to guard. 650, 784. We're the only ones, us and Kansas, on both of them. And our pipeline's a 5. So those should be decent for us. Here we go. 1090. 1071. We're his only scholarship. We're not this guy's only scholarship. But this guy doesn't have a scholarship. Right? So you see what I'm saying? So we're not going to compete for this guy. We're just going to get rid of him. Right? And then we're going to come over here to tackle, and we're going to do the same thing. I could compete for that guy. Now we're going to go over to safety. We're going to go to linebacker. So here we go, linebacker. 216, 1281. Right? This guy has none. He's 471. Why would we go after a guy that we could get this guy, but look how far down he is. 1700s, 1500s, okay, 1200s. We're not even up there on his list, but we could be. And this one we're competing against Texas A&M, LSU, Texas Tech. So yeah, I'd love that guy, but you might as well forget it. We will keep this guy. This guy, we'll get rid of him. And we're going to see, because maybe we'll find some more linebackers, right? This guy, no scholarship. No scholarship. Right? Here we're competing against Rice. That's okay. Here we're competing against these, right? So 735 and 1000. Memorize the numbers, right? We're going to want to memorize the numbers. So this guy is 1682, right? But this guy, so we're going to get rid of this guy. Boom. Right? So now we freed up 4 more spaces. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go over here, only 3 stars. And not only that, we're going to make this real easy on ourselves, because really what we're looking for right now, we're looking for a couple more offensive some linebackers, right? So right off the bat, there's this guy. Here's one. Both these guys don't have scholarships. They're 534 and 555. Right, now we're looking at numbers. Now we're looking at numbers. And here's this guy, 629. So right now we got 9 of 6. And none of these we have a pipeline in, but that's okay, right? So we're going to put them 2 on there. Now we're going to go over here. We're going to look at safeties real quick and see if there's any high numbers, right? There's not right here. We're already into the 1200s. We're going to go back again. This time we're going to do free safeties. Now we're looking. Is there any? No. Okay, here we go. Here's a 514 and here's a box specialist. I prefer... Let's go with this one because he's closer. Right, so then we're going to throw that guy on there. Now we've got 3 on our list. We need 3. Now we're going to go over here. We need defensive tackles and edge setters. So we're going to look at edge players. Right? Who doesn't have a scholarship? This guy doesn't. Right? There's other guys too that don't. So now we're going to come over here. And not only that, we're going to come over here and look at this. This guy is 251. But look how many people are recruiting him. LSU. We can forget about it. We're not getting that guy. These guys could be gets for us. This guy could be a get for us, right? Linebackers. Here we go. 1,500. Forget it. This guy. Forget it. Right? We're not going to worry about them guys. Boom. Now we've opened up some more space. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now we're going to come over here. We need edge players and we need defensive tackles. So we're going to go back to the prospect list and we got to do this little process that we do all over again. Boom. Defensive tackle. 3-star. We're going to look at them real quick and then I'll come back in and look if there's not. Right. So here right off the bat, 439. Boom. This guy down here, 523. This guy is in our pipeline. Boom, throw him on there. Now we're going to go back again. Do y'all see what we're doing here? This is how you find players that are worth even putting any time into. We're coming down this list. Looking for some players, and we get down here. This is an athlete. He's got a pipeline for us, so we could throw him on there, right? Now, offensive lineman, it says we've got 4. We need 8. So this is where we have to get really figure it out here. There's this one we could go after. He's 896 though. This is 473. So we're going to remember this number. 650 to 850 is what we're going to say. 650 to 850. And we're looking, and we're looking. Here we go. But these guys are raw strength, and I don't like that. So we might pass on them, right? Just depends. Raw strength, I don't really care for it. So here's a guard, right? We're in our pipeline. Here's another one right here. So this guy, we're competing against Kansas. We're going to have to get rid of a tackle, I think. We're going to get rid of this guy. Bam! And what we're going to do is we're going to take that guard. So now I got to put it back in for guard. Because it's one of our pipelines. So that's a double benefit with what we're trying to do here. This guy right here. Now what we got to do is get all these people scholarships that don't have them. So come down here to need scholarship. We're just going to throw them all scholarships. And then we're going to do what we can with what hours we got left. And remember, if there's any 4 stars on our list, we have to be throwing the book at them, giving them the max amount of hours we can possibly throw at them. If there's players that we want that don't have a scholarship, it doesn't really matter. But if they're not in our pipeline, it helps to throw something at them. So we're going to figure out how to divvy up our hours and get us through the next 2 weeks. Okay. First things first, we're coming over here to quarterbacks. This is a 4-star, no scholarship. We're giving him everything we got. This guy, we're there, but not that big a deal. We weren't really impressed with him. This guy, just going all in, right? So wide receiver is going to be interesting because we could go after this guy. Definitely could go after him. But we're also on this guy's list. This guy, we've got a pipeline. This guy, we got to go pipeline. So we don't have to worry about these two at all right now, at all. So the question is, which one of these guys do we want? And it's going to be hard to get him away from. So we're going to go after this guy. It's going to be hard to get this guy right here from SMU. Only guy on that list. Only guy on that list. Now the question is, do we have any 4-star offensive linemen? No. Do we have a 4-star? We do have a 4-star here. Now we get to the defensive players. So that you see what I'm doing. 50 to all the 4-star players. Because that's the only way we're going to get any interest in them. This guy's got other people interested in him. So this guy shouldn't even be on our list. Which means we can go back and get somebody we need. Okay. So we could use more offensive linemen. And that's it, really. more offensive linemen, and we'll be good. So we're going to come over here again and do our thing. And we hadn't do center yet, so we'll do center first. Right off the bat, here's a 604, and here's two athletes. One of them is in our pipeline. So you got to make a decision, right? Athletes are generally better than these players. That guy is well-rounded, though, but I like athletes. So we're going to take this guy. Get him a scholarship. Now what we're going to do... That guy is a no-go. This guy is a maybe. But we got other people recruiting him. Right now I'm just giving 10 to everybody, and then I'll come back and do what I need to do. And we're actually going to look, we got 2 spots open now, so we're actually going to look 1 for running back. So we already have a backup plan working. I need to save 10 for these scholarships for these other players. Alright, there we go. So now we're going to jump over here real quick and take a quick look now at running backs. And see if there's anything maybe worth it that could be in our pipeline or the other way. So here we go. This guy is an East-West playmaker, 441. He is part of a pipeline of ours. Here, this guy is part of a pipeline of ours, backfield threat. So this guy's pipeline is a lot better. So, right, and then you get down here, East-West playmaker, athlete. Boom, that's our guy. That's one of the ones we're going to go after. Going to offer him a scholarship. We're actually going to give him all 10 hours. We're going to advance the week. Hopefully we can burn through these next couple weeks really, really quick. We're going to try to. So now we've got 130 extra hours. We've been locked out by some of these guys, and that could be an issue that I did not think about. But here we go. We lost 2 offensive linemen. Right, but we still got these other guys. Look at that. We're already first on his list. Edge, that's good. Cornerback. Okay. So we lost 4 players. Pass protector, 562. Get this guy on our list. 591. Raw strength, raw strength. Really only looking for 2 to replace the ones that kicked us off. This guy's a JUCO junior. We definitely want to put that guy on the list. I don't know why he wasn't already on the list. Why we would pass him up. And here, this guy, raw strengths. Let's see what we got for. So originally, I'm just going to put offensive lineman on there for the sake of things, because really offensive lineman is more important than anything at this point. We got to go out. It froze up, so we got to go out and go back in. Okay, so we got 110. So the first thing we're going to do is quarterback, we're okay with. Running back, we're okay with. Wide receivers, we're okay with. Do we want to put any on any of these other guys? This guy we can probably get rid of off our list. This guy. Just so we can make room later if we need it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so that's 170 points. So I got 280. So I got 25 guys, 280 points, which means I have an extra 30 points. So 6 players can have an extra 5 given to them. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. Hmm. And then we're going to go with the running back. Okay, so we've allocated all our hours, and we're ready to advance to the next week. So after this week, we'll be done, and we'll call it quits until the next part, and we'll start at the next video. But now all we're looking for, because we're first on his list. See, so now we're making some traction this season so far. And these guys, we're looking for the red dots. And I'm not seeing any, which means there's nothing we can do, that nothing is going to change right now. Oh, we do have 20 extra points to give out. So we're going to go ahead. Alright, so now we're good. We can advance and don't have to worry about it. And then we'll go ahead and kill this video, and it'll be next time. So right now we're going to advance. We'll take a look at what the screen says. Okay, here you go. You can see we've jumped up, and these guys reached their top 5 schools, top 8 schools. Not a whole lot's changed. Okay, that's it for the first. Well, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to break the normal recruiting cycle down into 4 videos. It's been the first one of year 2. Until next time, this is Coach Dub signing off.